Hello, Somerville. My name is Ed Halloran, and welcome to the Somerville Labor Show. This is very exciting, actually. I've never really been interviewed on this show, and a good friend of mine is here to interview me. His name is Bill Shelton. And Bill, as you know, he is a columnist for the Somerville Times, and if you haven't read anything that Bill's done, you have to do it. It's just one great article after another, and please pick up a copy. So Bill is here. Welcome to the Somerville Labor Show.
Thank you, Ed.
You are the host of this show. I'm excited to have you interview me.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so let's kick it off. And Bill, you got the questions. Open up any way you want. It's your show. I'm here.
Thank you, brother.
I'm your guest.
Well, to set the tone for what you do and what I admire so much about what you do, I want to read a short poem written by Carl Sandburg. It was published 102 years ago, but it's still relevant today. The Dago shovelman sits by the railroad track eating a noon meal of bread and bologna. A train whirls by, and men and women at tables, alive with red roses and yellow jonquils, eat steaks running with brown gravy, strawberries and cream, eclairs and coffee. The Dago shovelman finishes the dry bread and bologna, washes it down with a dipper from the water boy, and goes back to the second half of a 10-hour day's work, keeping the roadbed so the roses and jonquils shake hardly at all in the cut glass vases standing slender on the tables in the dining car. I offer this poem because so many of the people who celebrate our city as hip and exciting and progressive, I think, give about as much attention to the people who make it that way as those people in the dining car gave to the people who made the railroad run. And those people are members of your union. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us a little bit about what they do to keep the city a going concern? Oh,
wow. Well, first of all, that's very touching. I appreciate that. I've never seen that. It's fantastic. Let me just explain. I'll explain exactly to you what we do, and you can drive down the street, meticulously, well kept, the city of Somerville. Mm-hmm. We have the Department of Public Works. If you take a look at the snow removal that we do, the water department, clean water. Mm-hmm. We have the highway department tearing out sidewalks, putting in brand new ones, keeping things safe for everybody. Nurses, school nurses who deal with severely handicapped children. It's not about just a Band-Aid and Tylenol anymore. It's completely changed. 31 divisions, 260 people, inspectional services. It's just, it goes on, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, city clerks, we have people, we marry people, mm-hmm. You know? We do that too, which is something. Human resources, we've got them at traffic and parking. People down there, the librarians, where people love to go.
Mm-hmm. I do.
I know that. That's why I hit on that. I know you love libraries, Bill. I know that. So we have people there as well, and the work that they do is just, it's probably some of the best that you'll see, especially when it comes to snow plowing. I mean, we're talking about a city that you could walk through here and after a snowstorm and say, wow, what are these? It's amazing what these people do, you know? And we just want to, sometimes we just want to feel good about what we do. Yeah. And sometimes you just can't. Yeah. And there's a reason for it.
You want to share that?
I would. I mean, I think that people need to be respected.
Yes.
Need to be paid properly. Yeah. Need to feel like they're part of the city.
So these people who do so much for us, how long has it been since they had a raise?
Well, the last time it took almost 7 years for us to get a raise.
That was after the meltdown in 2008.
That's right. The Fannie Mae bank, meltdown, mm-hmm. and that's what happened there. And you know what, though? We made concessions. We attempted to make some concessions to get the mayor and his administration through those things, and willing to give money, some of those things were unacceptable. Took layoffs for 4 years in a row, So it took a heck of a beating.
Yeah.
You know, our membership certainly did with that. This time, this round, we're going to go. We're talking 4 years. Well, we're 3 years now. We're 3 years without a contract at this particular point in time, and we've got some issues, man. You know, I got nurses that need to get paid. I've got people that are just decided that they're going to go to other cities and towns.
Really?
No, not only people are moving, they're not just moving, they're working in other communities now. And it's sad to see them go because I know all of them.
Yeah.
And I've represented them I'm in my 11th year. I've been working for the city, I'm in my 26th year. I've worked long before that in several other places, many unions. I'm sure we can get into that down the road here. But it's really difficult for our people. They're probably about 15 to 20% below most other surrounding comparable communities right now. And the reason why we know that is because we've had studies performed.
Yeah.
And our most recent study was in 2016. So it's already 2 years going into a third year. And at that particular point in time, we found ourselves 15 to 20% underpaid from other communities. Now, the city performed a study twice for their non-union people. One was from the Collins Institute, and that was a UMass study. Mm-hmm. And people got very good raises out of that one, but not our people, not union people. It was more of the non-union people.
Okay.
And then again in 2016, they performed another study called the MCAB study. Yeah. And what occurred in that study was they gave merit raise steps, everyone from the mayor down, including the alderman. Their raises, their salaries went from 29,000 to 40, 41.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's like, you know, look at, I know, I understand, I get the economy, I know how difficult it can be to live in the city and all of that, but, you know, what about us? You know, we're out there and we're waiting.
Well, housing, healthcare, and education prices are all going through the roof. So with those conditions, with 15 to 20% lower wages than surrounding communities, with not having a raise for first 7 years and then 3 years, how are your workers able to make ends meet in this increasingly expensive city?
Well, one of the ways that they're doing it is overtime, and more overtime. The city, as you know, is thriving, booming local economy, as we've been told. So, you know, there's an event every weekend. It snows, emergencies occur. We are there at their beck and call whenever they need us. So many of us do it that way. I also have members, I have a member, believe it or not, and I was dismayed to hear that we have some people that are on Mass Health because they can't afford to purchase the city's health insurance. Really? Yeah. So they don't have...
And their income is low enough to qualify for Mass Health.
Oh yes, it is. If you're a mother with a couple of children, yeah, it is. And I think one of the problems too is that advancement seems to be a problem at times. We try to have a career ladder for some of our people. And our growth has been stunted in a sense. So we're looking for more opportunities, more money. Contractually, we've discussed contracts with the city for 2 years now. And I can't really get into the details because those discussions are always private. Surely. But you know, we're very concerned about some of the things the city wants to do on the technology end of it. I think we're comfortable with our position, but we want to meet them halfway on that as well. But like I said before, ISD, school nurses, these people need to be paid. Department of Public Works, you can't work 400, 600, 8 hours and 1,000 hours overtime a year and expect that your quality of life is going to be good.
Yeah, tell me about that, because it seems to me that if the way that people are making ends meet is working more and more and more hours, they don't have any time for their families.
They don't have time for their families, and it's sad. You know, I see it all the time. You know, I mean, we're in the wintertime, we're plowing snow, and you know, we're not seeing our families sometimes for 2 days at a time, 3 days at a time. And when you do get to see them, you're pretty tired. Yeah. But you know what? We love doing our job. We enjoy it. We care about the residents of the city of Somerville. We're not, and many times people demonize unions over the years. There's been so much that's been going on with unions. I became president of this union in 2008. And when I did, my first goal,
at the bottom of the recession.
it was awful. Yeah, it was. I walked into a terrible. I don't know. I just walked into a bad scene.
Yeah,
you know?
I bet.
It really was. But we wanted to correct it. I had members who were in distress.
Yeah.
Wanted something done. They wanted a correction here.
Yeah.
And they didn't know where to go. This union was about ready to be lost, and I had no idea where it was going to go. So I was 6 months before I got elected, I decided to run. And I said, look, I'm just going to take a shot here. I've had a ton of experience in unions over the years. I was since the age of 4 years old, I marched in picket lines. So.
Well, you know, I really want to get into your biography, but let me, before we leave the big picture, let me just ask you a couple more questions.
Sure.
Somerville is exceptional in the proportion of its residents who identify themselves as progressives. What kind of help do you get from progressives? What kind of support do city workers get from progressives?
You know what? You're going to think I'm odd for saying this.
No, I'm not.
But I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I don't know what a progressive is.
Yeah, okay.
You know why I don't know?
No.
I think I do know.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay.
Because I get very disturbed by the fact that we've got people here who, man, they're tweeting all the time. They're tweeting their Facebook, and they're all over the place with this stuff. And, you know, you got to walk it, you can talk it, you got to walk it. That's how I feel about life.
Yes, indeed.
And unfortunately, I see that there is a lot of them out there, and they want to be elected. And once they do get elected, they seem to just kind of like go into a different direction from what we thought a lot of elected officials were going to do.
Well, then let's put a little finer point on it and say specifically the people who identify themselves as progressive on the Board of Aldermen. It seems like the Board of Aldermen could have some influence on the working conditions and the compensation for your union members. What kind of support do you get from them?
Well, I can tell you this. I think the Board of Aldermen, the current Board of Aldermen right now, and I think they're working very hard. They've got a lot on their plate, Bill. I can tell you right now. Making no excuses for them.
No.
Okay.
No.
They're human beings. I really get that. I really believe that they struggle with what's going on right now, because I know that they're supporting. I know there's been executive sessions to discuss union contracts to get this done. It just boggles my mind why it's taking so long to get this through to the mayor and his administration, what we're looking for here. We're not looking to break the bank, but being a progressive, you know, the Our Revolution people, I'm very friendly with them. They've got some great ideas. They're doing some excellent things right now. The Somerville stands together. I have a lot of friends over there. A lot of them I interviewed on this show, and I became friends with them. Yeah. And it's a pleasure to interview people like that. It's a great community. But the progressive thing, I think there's a divide there a little bit, because some. I mean, look I've got people who on Somerville Stands Together with me, and other presidents who say, we don't have to agree on everything that Our Revolution, Somerville Stands Together, and all the other groups, but if we get 4 good issues, then we've got something. We've got something there, and I think we do. So what I'm looking to do, I mean, we've had incredible rallies. We've got one coming up, so about this whole Union Square scene down here. So
yeah. Stepping away from specifically progressives, what could anybody who lives here do to support your union and your workers? Or is there something that the average citizen could do?
Well, you know what? I feel there's a disconnect somehow.
Yes.
They see us.
Yeah.
They like us.
They do.
They do. They like our work, but they don't know anything about us at all. Hence the reason for the Somerville Labor Show.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's one way to connect with some of the residents. I don't know how many viewers we have, but it's out there. It's on YouTube, and we work incredibly hard to get where we need to be. So they could help us. They could canvass for us. If we're rallying, they could come out to a rally.
Yeah.
We've got one coming up, It'll be on October 22nd, and hopefully they'll be there. We have had some great support from them. I think they understand. I think they know what's going on out there. But you know what? I guess your poem, your opening poem, is kind of identifies what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're seeing the workers, and you're seeing other people who are doing much better.
Yeah.
You know, and the residents, to no fault of their own, you know, we've got a lot of people who've moved here, some fresh faces and some longtime faces as well.
Yeah.
But I think, you know what, we've got to change some things here.
Yes, we
We've
do.
got to start looking at our workers and taking care of them. This can't be like a training ground for people. We need long-time people who are going to be invested into this city.
Yeah, I have to put my own 2 cents in here for just a minute, because I see so many people who come here and decide that they're going to save Somerville, and don't make the effort to really engage people who have lived here their whole lives and understand, and then they go off and do something else. But let's talk about something a little more positive, or maybe not. You grew up here.
I did,
And
right down the street over the hill, Lincoln Park.
Yes, you did. So tell me the changes that you've seen in the city over the course of your life.
Wow, this was a blue-collar city from the word go. Tough, 100, maybe 120, 130,000 on 4.1 square miles. And, you know, bled labor all the way, you know. Had some really good mayors, some fighting aldermen, Bill Joyce.
Oh, Billy Joyce.
If anybody knew Billy Joyce, man, I'll tell you right now, he would get up at the alderman's meeting, he would pound his fist and he would scream. But man, he could get it done.
He would rip the mayor apart every week.
He would go, oh my God, yeah. That guy didn't care about anything, and I miss him.
Yeah.
And his wife Ann was a great person as well. So Bill Joyce was wonderful, but the city has gone through a ton of changes.
Yeah.
And I like the new Somerville. The old Somerville, for me, look, we can't stay in the old Somerville all the time, you know? Nobody knew what they were sitting on, the property values or anything like that.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No.
So now, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s were fantastic here.
Yeah.
I mean, the high school
I was here.
was tremendous up there. You know, I mean, I went to Southern Junior High, right where the soccer field is over there. And, you know,
Talk about density. That school, that school itself was density.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I went to a parochial school for 8 years before. My mom wanted me to be a lawyer. So she figured that was the best way to straighten me out right from the get-go. So then I fought her on it, and I says, look, I'm going to Somerville High, man. That's where I want to go. And we fought about that too. But I won. And my first day there, I got to see it turned out to be a brawl, actually, between teachers and students. And, I was like, wow, huh? I guess this is public school. And it was really something. But there was so much going on in the city at that particular point in time. And then as things went on, you could just see it change. The condo conversions of the late 80s into the early 90s. New people were coming in. They had some great ideas. I agree with you. But now, it just seems like it's grown so fast that we've been like, we've really, like, you blink your eye, it's over. So we really can't catch up with it. But the one saving grace I think we have in the city of Somerville right now is the groups within the city that are embedded, that really want some positive change and are relentless and will not let up until they get what they want. They're not going to allow the big developers to come down and do what they want to do. It's already been done somewhere else over in Assembly Row. And I think they want to see some real changes right here in Union Square. And I think I'm going to give it a plug, if it's okay. It's your show. Okay. It's a project labor agreement, a PLA. Community benefits agreement. This is what we're looking for down here, where we have some say in what happens down here. You agree with that, Bill?
I do, absolutely. And in fact, there is a whole history of these community benefits agreements that communities across the country have made, very often led by labor. For example, all the big CBAs in Los Angeles were led by the Labor Coalition, and they all specified union labor. But let me steer us a little bit back towards you for a moment. And as you were growing up and, and becoming a young man, what drew you to being a labor activist?
What drew me to being a labor activist, and I know we don't have a lot of time on the show because that would take forever. So at the age of 4 years old, my mom was in local 25 Teamsters. She worked in the factory. My dad worked in a shoe factory as well. So she would take me to these labor events. And, generally what happened at these labor events, it was picketing, discussions, wear your button, walk the picket line, had the children out there. They won. They won a big concessions and the Carter Zinc over in Cambridge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then what happened after that was they outsourced them. So they ended up going down to Tennessee or something like that. But I ended up working for the food service workers at Harvard University as a chef's helper and a pot washer. Local 26, the Marriott workers that you see right there. Fantastic union, Harvard University. And I enjoyed my time there. That went really well. And then I ended up working for the Teamsters. I actually worked for St. Johnsbury Trucking Company. And that's really where it was one of my, for me, I was very proud to be a Teamster, Local 25, because I knew I was with a tremendous union, and I really enjoyed being there with them.
Yeah.
I didn't really hold any high position there with them at all. I was always there with a lot of support. And that's basically how I got my start, because I got my education there. I was schooled union, and I've never forgot that. And I'm not ashamed to be who I am. I'm not ashamed to be a union person. I'm not, I didn't choose unions. They chose me. That's how I felt.
You know that I believe very much that the middle class exists only because of the union movement. And so rather than being ashamed, I would encourage you to be proud.
Thank you.
I'm going to digress just a little bit. How did you get, when you were growing up, how did you get your nickname, the Hawk?
The Hawk, yeah. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Well, that name came from a baseball player. His name was Ken Harrelson. Played for the Boston Red Sox in 1967. Tony Conigliaro, Carl Yastrzemski. I just became this instant baseball fan.
Yeah.
And I kind of matured later on in life when it came to playing sports. And I would just go out in the outfield with my glove because Ken Harrelson wore a Nehru suit. Anybody know what Nehru suits are?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody out there know what a Nehru?
Jacket with no collar.
Yeah, and they had the collar and they had these iridescent suits, man. And this guy, he was so cool. The sunglasses, the Beatle boots, the whole 9 yards. So I said to myself, well, I probably will never be able to play baseball very well, but I want to be that guy. It was kind of ridiculous, right? Paisley shirts and all that. But
kids have been doing it for 150 years.
I know, and then it just kind of caught on.
Yeah.
And people call me the Hawk, and it's the Hawk, and okay, that's cool. And his number was 40, so it's a lucky number for me, I think.
Okay.
And even in work, a lot of the men and women there will call me that, refer to me as that.
Sweet.
I like it. I have no problem with it. I think it's very appropriate for me.
Well, we have about a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
What, if you can squeeze it in, how did you decide to run for president of the union? And when you did, what were your objectives? What was it that you wanted to accomplish by doing so? I
wanted my union members to gain respect. I wanted them to get their union back because they had lost it. A lot of them felt distressed. They felt like the union was gone. It was leaving. My predecessor had many problems that ended up being an internal fight. So it bothered me greatly. I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to do it, and I did do it. And I ended up winning as president. I ended up, through the years, ended up with the Somerville Labor Coalition. We put that together because I always believed that.
And I just want to say to our viewers who may not know this, the Somerville Labor Coalition exists largely through Eddie's leadership.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Well, I've always dreamt of a broad coalition, and with this coalition here, that's exactly what we did. Police, fire, custodians, they're not my union, but we all together.
That's
and
right.
now we ended up with, with the Our Revolution, the Somerville Stands Together, Union United, all these groups just came together. So that's where I'm really something that's very important to me and really touches me. And that's kind of where I get my energy from.
Yeah.
And the show gives me that energy too, because I get to interview people. I know Bill Shelton, you know, I know Penelope Genowin, I know Ram Wilson, I know Jude Sylvain, you know, I mean, who I work with, all these people who I love these people. I love my members. I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I just want to help them, and I want to get them where they need to be and leave them in a better place with them and their families. I'm responsible for all of them, probably 1,000 people, you know, because they've got family. And I have to, you know, it weighs on me, but it doesn't keep me up at night, because I'm completely confident that I'm going to have the ability to help correct that. So I hope that the aldermen, the state reps, the mayor and his administration will recognize who we are for what we are, as well as the residents of the city of Somerville.
Yeah.
You know, we make connections out there all the time. So I'm hoping that, you know, they will appreciate, respect, and please don't give us lip service. Just help us if you can.
Yeah. Well, I want to conclude this by sharing a little bit of my own philosophy and how it relates to you, because I think that most people I know simply accept the world as it is and do what they can to survive as individuals and take care of their families, and not a lot more. And the most basic thing that I know about humans is that we tend to do to others what's been done to us. And the people who I admire most step outside of that cycle and realize that things could be better and are willing to take risks. And you are one of those people, and it is a pleasure to know you, Ed Howard.
Thank you, Bill. Well, you know what we say is, when we fight, we win.
Yeah.
And in unity, there's strength.
Indeed.
Thank you.